So the Knuckles series has came out on Paramount Plus, and the history behind this series is very interesting. From being announced days before Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was in theaters, to then having absolutely no news, then to having some major news, it has had quite an interesting history. And we've finally reached a day where we get to see this series in action. So in today's video, I will be talking about the pros and cons about the Knuckles series. And if you guys want more content like this, just like and subscribe, because that'll help out the channel a lot. But anyways, let's talk about the Knuckles series. So the synopsis for the Knuckles series is that Knuckles is given the task to find someone to teach. And who else but Wade Whipple himself. So throughout the series, Knuckles teaches Wade the ways of the Echidna tribe while they're being hunted down by ex-gun agents. When I first heard about the leaked synopsis for this miniseries, I thought, oh, so it's something you don't really have to necessarily watch to understand what's going to happen in Sonic Movie 3. And I was right. You don't actually have to watch the miniseries to understand what happens in Sonic 3. But if you want to watch it, go ahead. Nobody's stopping you. And I really like that they did that because unlike Marvel, where you have to watch every single series to understand what's going to happen in every single goddamn movie, this time you actually get the choice to not watch it, and either way you'll understand what happens in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Besides the small synopsis and the choices they let you have, the story in full is really fun, honestly, in my opinion. The dynamic between Knuckles and Wade here is really fun, and it's also pretty heartwarming for me. There is this one part in episode 2 that really touched my heart, but I cannot talk about it because it is a spoiler, and this is not a spoiler review. But it's really fun seeing these duo talk to each other and have fun. And if you have read the articles talking about how Knuckles barely appears in this TV series, they're somewhat right. Like, yes, there is one episode where he doesn't really appear, but that is the only episode where he just sits back and Wade is the main focus. Another thing I want to talk about is how amazing the CGI is. Even for a TV series, I was expecting some kind of drone home type of animation style, but surprisingly enough, it looks very, very similar to the movies. Another thing I want to talk about is the soundtrack in the series. It is at times pretty generic. Sadly, there aren't any video game music, but there are a few rock elements, and I really do like that. Now let's talk about the things that I kind of don't like about the Knuckles series, and that's the villains of the Knuckles series. The two ex-agents, also known as Agent Mason and Agent Willoughby, they are really only there for like 2 episodes, and most of the other stuff, it's pretty fun, but still, I kind of wanted to see more of these guys. And the Buyer also appears in about 3 or 2 episodes, and you know, the last episode is where he kind of like pops off. But yeah, that's kind of the thing I didn't like much, that we didn't get to see much of the villains, because they seemed really interesting, especially the Buyer, but it is what it is. Another thing I want to talk about is Wade's sister. Her character's dialogue felt kind of odd, especially the moment where she was face to face with a guy who had chains as a weapon, and she started making jokes about how he was a 90s video game character. Does she need to like insert some kind of quarter into him? That line felt pretty corny, but I was like, okay, cool, whatever, let's just get into the cool battle scenes. And the last thing I want to mention is Knuckles' character development. Like, we do somewhat see it throughout the series, but we don't fully see it. Like, I was kind of like, there was character development in this series, but I saw a tweet about it and I was like, oh, I kind of see it now. But at the same time, I was like, I didn't really see much development in this character. I still kind of thought he was the same Knuckles that we knew, who just now has a home now, or has a place he can call home. But that's pretty much it for what I have to say about the Knuckles series. If I were to give it a rating from 1 through 10, I would definitely give it a 7 out of 10. It is good. It is a pretty fun series. You don't necessarily have to watch it to understand what's going to happen in Sonic 3, but it is something fun to watch with the family, and I do highly recommend you watch the series. Anyways, that's practically it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed what I thought about the Knuckles series, but tell me, what do you guys think about the Knuckles series? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's meh? Do you think it's bad? Comment down below. Anyways, I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Adios.